Welcome, football fans, to the Football Channel. I'm Bruno Franconeto. I want to talk to you about the best competition in the world, which is the Champions League. Recently we saw the draw for the Champions League for the group stage. We got to have a look at the what the groups are going to look like. We know all the teams now, where they're going to be placed. So I'm very excited about the upcoming matches. I'm also excited to talk to you about the teams, all the 32 teams that are going to compose the tournament. And what I want to do today, I want to start ranking them from the weakest team to the strongest team. So my idea is to every day I'm going to share with you 8 teams. So today is going to be from team 32 to team 25. And then tomorrow I'm going to rank teams from 24 to 17, and then 16 to 9, and then 8 to number 1. So I'm going to start with number 32. So the weakest team in the tournament, I believe, Ferencváros from Hungary. But this is a big return to the big stage for Ferencváros. They haven't played in the Champions League for the past 25 years. The last appearance was in the 1995-1996 season. They have been here before, but not in a long time. And it's a big deal even for a Hungarian team to reach this stage, because the last Hungarian team to ever play in the Champions League was Debrecen, and that was more than a decade ago. So just in order to get to the group stage, the Ferencváros, the Hungarian champions, they had a long way to go. They had to beat 4 different teams because they entered in the very first qualifying round. Remember, the Hungary is 33rd in the UEFA coefficients, underneath countries like Liechtenstein and Slovenia. So it's a big deal for a Hungarian team to get to this stage. In order to get to the all the way to the group stage, Ferencváros had to beat 4 teams, and they had to beat actually 4 champions of national teams. They first beat Djurgårdens from Sweden, the first qualifying round. Then they created a big upset when they beat Glasgow Celtic of Scotland in the second qualifying round. They then moved on to the third qualifying round, and they beat Dynamo Zagreb from Croatia. And finally, in the playoff round, they beat Molde, the Norwegian champions. So great run from Ferencváros already in this Champions League. And I'm sure they'll be very happy to be playing the Champions League. They're going to have some trouble, I think, in the group. They landed on Group G with 2 big sharks, Juventus, Barcelona, and then they're going to also have Dynamo Kyiv in their group. Now, moving on, number 31, FC Midtland. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. They're from Denmark. They're based on 2 small Danish towns, Herning and Ikast. They're from the Midwestern part of Jutland. So this is a small team. Last year they won their 3rd Danish title. We're used to, when we see the Danish teams in these competitions, we're used to seeing the likes of Copenhagen or Brøndby, but this is a smaller team. But they are the Danish champions, and they also had to beat 3 teams. They had to beat 3 teams just to get to the stage. So they definitely earned their place. They beat Ludogorets Razgrad from Bulgaria. They beat Young Boys from Switzerland and Slavia Prague from the Czech Republic. And this is a big deal for them because this is the first time that they're ever going to play the Champions League. This is their first time that they qualify to play the UEFA Champions League, so it's a big deal. They're going to be on Group D with Liverpool, Ajax, and Atalanta. Unfortunately for them, that's a particularly hard group. I think really they don't have much of a chance, but they'll probably be hoping to get at least a couple draws, maybe a win. That would be fantastic for them. So moving on, number 30. Now we're getting to teams with a little bit more pedigree. Club Brugge from obviously from Bruges, Belgium. They qualified automatically, so they didn't have to go through the qualifying stages. They qualified automatically because they won the Belgium League. The Belgian League, they qualified as Belgian champions. They've won the Belgian League 16 times, second only to rivals Anderlecht. So they're a pretty established team. They've also been there they've reached the later stages of European competitions. They play the European Cup final against Liverpool in 1978. Unfortunately, they lost, but they also played the 1976 UEFA Cup final, also lost to Liverpool. And speaking of Liverpool, Liverpool fans were certainly going to recognize their goalkeeper, Simon Mignolet, who plays for the Belgium national team, but he also played for Liverpool from 2013 to 2019, so that's a little bit of a interesting point there for Liverpool and Premier League fans. Moving on to number 29, 29 FC Krasnodar from Russia, from Krasnodar, a city in southern Russia, about 1 million people. They finished third in the Russian Premier League last year. That allowed them to enter the last round of play of the last qualifying round, the playoff round, where they beat PAOK of Greece, a respectable team. Russian Premier League very well represented this year with 3 teams in the Champions League overall. Krasnodar in particular, they're going to play on Group G, Sevilla, Chelsea, Rennes. That's a difficult group. I think they're going to have some trouble in that group. I don't think they have much of a chance of qualifying to the knockout stages. Sevilla and Chelsea just too strong for them, I think. But maybe they can pull off a third place in front of Rennes, and that would allow them to go to the Europa League knockout stages. So it wouldn't be bad in any way. In any case, I think Krasnodar. They'll probably be happy just to be playing the Champions League. Moving on, number 28, Lokomotiv Moscow, another Russian team from Moscow. They qualified automatically. They finished second in the Russian league. And they have some faces that fans might recognize. One of them is Portuguese forward Eder, who scored that famous goal against France that gave Portugal their first European championship in 2016 in France. They also have Fyodor Smolov, who plays for the Russian national team, a very good striker, and Korduka for Premier League fans, former Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur defender. Last year, they also participated in the Champions League and they finished last in their group behind Leverkusen, Atletico Madrid, and Juventus. All good teams, to be fair, but I'm sure they'll be hoping to do a little bit better this year. But they also have a tough group. Group A: Bayern, Atletico, and Salzburg. 3 difficult teams, obviously, especially Bayern and Atletico, but even Salzburg, I don't think they're going to be a walk in the park. I think Lokomotiv Moscow is probably going to struggle a little bit. Moving on to number 27, Istanbul Basaksehir. Traditionally a small team from Turkey. They first reached the Turkish First Division only in the 2007-2008 season. So really, this is a new power in Turkey. They're a little bit unusual because they were owned by the Turkish Ministry of Youth and Sports, so owned by the Turkish government. They won the first league title last year, and that allowed them to qualify automatically for the Champions League. In terms of recognizable faces, I think Premier League fans will be pleased to see Martin Skrtel, who also spent 9 seasons at Liverpool. He plays for them. Also, Nasser Chadli for Tottenham fans, winger in the Belgian national team. He played for Tottenham. Istanbul is going to have a particularly hard time, I think, in this Champions League because they landed on what is probably the group of death, Group H, with PSG, Manchester United, Leipzig. That's a terrible group to land on. You don't want to be there with those sharks. So I think Istanbul Basaksehir is probably gonna have some hard times. Number 26, Dynamo Kyiv. Now, this is a team with pedigree. They're a regular in the Champions League group stage. In Ukraine, big power. They have never been relegated. They've won 15 Ukrainian leagues, 13 Soviet leagues. In Europe, they've won 2 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. So, big team from Eastern Europe. They were recognized as Eastern European Club of the 20th Century by the France press. This past year, they finished second in the Ukrainian League, so they entered the third qualifying round. They had to beat AZ, which is a good team from Holland, and Ghent from Belgium in the playoff round to qualify. So I'm sure Dynamo Kyiv will be pleased to just be a part of the competition. They have a tough group as well, Group G, Juventus, Barcelona, and Ferencvaros, though. I mean, with Ferencvaros, I think you usually expect Dynamo Kyiv to at least finish third, and that would still allow them to go through the knockout stages of the Europa League, which certainly wouldn't be a bad result. And they can even hope to create an upset and maybe send Juventus and Barcelona home early. Now, number 25, Stade Rennais, Rennes. Um, they finished third in the French league, which was obviously last year interrupted by the pandemic, so it wasn't a regular season in France. But finishing third in the French league, they qualified automatically for the Champions League. They're not a team that is used to playing the Champions League, but they do have a very decent team. They have one of the best youth academies in France, remarkably. I mean, they've produced players like Ousmane Dembele, Brahimi, Gourcuff, Viltor, but really the one to watch out for right now is Camavinga. He's 17 years old. He wears the number 10 shirt for Rennes this season. He's a French international already, and he's really one of the big prospects in European football. 17 years old. Every single big European club is interested in him. Remarkably, Real Madrid, especially Real Madrid. So he's really one to watch when Rennes plays the likes of Sevilla, Chelsea, and Krasnodar in their Group G. So this is it for now. Next video, which I'll post tomorrow or later today, I will be looking at teams from position 24 to 17, and then early this next week we're gonna see all the other teams all the way to number one ranked team, in my opinion. Thank you for watching.